The Giants already get a victory. They won the press conference apparently yesterday with John Harbaugh. Harbaugh was introduced as the new head coach. And it's weird how if we looked at the Giants, let's say Brian Daboll was back next year, we would look at the Giants and go, okay, there's potential. All of a sudden you bring in John Harbaugh and we're going, man, he could maybe turn it around like Mike Vrabel. Maybe you got, similar situation there. And Vrabel, who is not as charismatic as his brother, had this to say about ready to win.
John, how do you build a winning culture, and how long will it take for this team to win?
The second part's impossible to say, but I'm planning on day one. So that's what we'll be shooting for. That's what we'll be working for, and fully expect it to happen.
All right, I'm ready to go. The Giants going to have a turnaround. Feels like we have one or two of those teams every year. And he's also very excited to coach Jackson Dart.
I'm excited about Jackson Dart, and you build your team around your quarterback. I like the way he plays. I like his talent, skill set, all the things he's accomplished. But more than that, I like who he is and what he's about. And to me, he's about football. I mean, this young guy loves football. He wants to talk football all the time. And that's kind of what I like doing, too. So I think we're going to have a lot of great conversations. And I can't wait to get started with him.
All right. He's channeling a little Jim Harbaugh there. He liked football. I like talking football. We're going to talk football. Yes, Seton.
How do you know that? You just met him 2 days ago.
Well, maybe that's all they talked about was football. He liked football. I like football. We're going to talk football. It feels like, and let me rephrase this. He is he's not a character like his brother. He's got charisma. He's just not a character like Jim is. But great head coach. But all of a sudden, you look at the Giants differently, I think, because of John Harbaugh. Because they're going to talk football. They're going to win football. That's what they do. By the way, Jim Harbaugh hired Mike McDaniel, the former Dolphins head coach, or at least he's going to. Mike McDaniel. Now, the headline is going to read differently than I'm interpreting this. And that is, Mike McDaniel turned down an opportunity to interview for the Cleveland Browns job. I think what he did is he took his name out. Sometimes you're not going to get a job, but you want to take your name out before somebody hires somebody, and then you realize you weren't getting the job in the first place. I don't think they were going to hire Mike McDaniel in Cleveland. They've had a couple of candidates coming in for maybe their second interviews. Mike would have been a curiosity. Hey, come on in. What do you think of our quarterbacks here? What would you do with this offense here? And I think the Chargers did a great hire, bringing in McDaniel to help Justin Herbert. And Mike McDaniel was coveted as an offensive coordinator. I think that's a great hire, and he goes to the Chargers. Browns still searching for their head coach. But, you still start with Buffalo because these Bills fans are not letting it go. They're looking for every angle. Is there a new angle with that interception? There's got to be. NFL Films put out an angle. It's not any different than what we saw over the weekend. What, Paulie?
Dan, not according to Bills supporters.
Well, okay. Bills supporters need to have this realization. Your best player didn't play his best, and he cost you that game. Because if he makes a couple of plays, you win. That's it. You win. It doesn't come. Don't blame the officials. Blame Josh Allen. Start there. He did not have a good game. A couple interceptions, an overthrow that would have won the game or put him in a position to win the game, a fumble at the end of the first half. That's on him. It's not on the officials. And it's easy to blame. And it's tough. It's tough to sit here and go, why aren't we playing this weekend? We are better than Denver. And maybe you were, except for Josh Allen didn't play like Josh Allen normally does. That's the reality of this. There's no other way to spin this. You want to blame the officials, and is it a tough call? Yeah. In the moment, I thought there's no way that's an interception. When they called it an interception, I said there's no way they overturn it. And even Joe Burrow hasn't tweeted since August. Joe Burrow said, hey, get over it. The call was correct. Yeah, Paulie.
Joe Burrow's tweet was, the amount of people that don't understand what a catch is in the rule book flabbergasts me. And it's not the officials. The two plays yesterday, he talked about the one in the Bears game and the Bills game, were not difficult calls, and they got them both right.
Yeah. So if I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, it's tough to swallow. This was your year. It cost you your head coach. Head coach reportedly had issues with the roster, with their GM. And I think that's a bigger issue where ownership and GM probably got together and said, well, wait a minute, this guy doesn't like what we're doing, and we need to move on from him. Now, I'm paraphrasing there, but I wouldn't have fired Mike. I wouldn't have fired Sean McDermott. It's really hard to be consistently good in the league, and he was consistently good. Now, you can say, is he going to be good enough to get us to a Super Bowl? I didn't think the roster was great. Well, who built the roster? Your GM did. But we blame. Oh, we didn't get to the next level. Well, who are you blaming? It's usually the coach. And we're in a day and age where, man, what have you done for me lately? Kind of been good for a decade here. Yeah. But, we had some fumbles and some interceptions. But I didn't do that. Yeah, but we got to blame somebody here. Buffalo fans may not like it, but don't be blaming the officials. Blame yourself, because you easily could have won that game. Yeah, Paulie.
I don't think it's going to go that way for the Buffalo fans. I think they're going to latch on to this video and this play and this bad call in their mind forever until they win a Super Bowl. Like Dallas with the Dez Bryant thing more than a decade ago. The further they get from the Super Bowl, the bigger this play will stick in their craw.
What, is this the modern-day Scott Norwood missed field goal now?
Yeah, but you could blame it on somebody else.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to stay for a long, long time.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It's unfortunate, though, with Sean McDermott. I mean, that's an impressive resume. Who's coming in? Who is your guy coming in? Because he has to get to the AFC title game, right? Who's coming in Baltimore? You got to get to the AFC title game. Like the expectation level is crazy. Even Pittsburgh, you got to make the playoffs. And unless there's an announcement of, hey, we're going to renovate here. We got to retool here. But Pittsburgh's not going to do that. And the Chiefs, Mahomes will be coming back eventually, so you're still going to have to deal with him. Joe Burrow and the Bengals might stay healthy. Is Jacksonville for real? Denver's going to be there. Chargers coming back. There'll be an outlier that you go, wow, that team is on the rise here. But these coaching, when you start to point fingers, man, it's tough. Yeah, Todd.
And if the league just recycles or recirculates coaches that just had a job, who is left that's so juicy that is the answer in Buffalo if they're not going to find some hidden character, hidden candidate that we haven't really already mentioned?
Well, you might find somebody, but you go in and what's the expectation level? Robert Saleh is taking over Tennessee. What's the expectation level? 5 wins? 6 wins? That's about it. But if you're taking over a team like Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, a team like Buffalo with Josh Allen, we are making the playoffs. And how far are we going in the playoffs? Even Pittsburgh. Hey, you wanted Mike Tomlin out. All he did is win, got you to the playoffs. Maybe overachieved this year. And for the life of me, I don't know why the Steelers would say, hey, we're open to bringing back Aaron Rodgers. Shouldn't that be up to the head coach who hasn't been hired? So now all of a sudden, coach comes in, he'll be the bad guy, when really the front office shouldn't be saying anything about Aaron Rodgers. Or just saying, hey, we're open to possibilities here, but the head coach and the GM should have that, make that decision. You can't put that on a guy who hadn't even taken the job yet. All of a sudden, Brian Flores goes in, and first question is, what are you doing with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Not bringing him back. And if you are bringing him back, what's that say about, your immediate future? Like, what are you doing? It's just, the deep end is where the great teams are. You're in the kiddie pool. You're in a pool. You're just not where you need to be. And you bring back Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't, I don't have a rush of confidence when I go, yeah, Aaron Rodgers played okay this year. Probably better than a lot of people thought. But if I'm Pittsburgh, I want to know, what is our future here? Who is our future here? And maybe you get Brian Flores in there, maybe Mike McCarthy in there. Okay. First thing I want to know is, what are we doing? Like, we're old. Who's our quarterback? What are we doing with TJ Watt? Can we trade anybody here? What do we want in the draft, need in the draft? So there's all these questions, but it just feels like ownership, front office, they're quick to move on. There is no patience. And some of the greatest coaches in history, they could have easily gotten fired in today's landscape after 2 or 3 years. Like, you go back to Mike Krzyzewski at Duke. It's like, he would have been fired because nobody knew Mike Krzyzewski. And it's after, 3 years at Duke, you'd be like, I think we can move on from him. But having that patience to be able to see who that guy is, what that guy is, that's the hard part here. But some of these coaching candidates going in, it's tough enough. You walk in, it's like, all right, better be great. Okay, just got here day one. Yeah, that's tough. But that's what Baltimore's done. That's what Buffalo has done. Pittsburgh, that's Mike Tomlin stepping down, so that's different. But, man, it's fascinating. Fascinating times for these coaching candidates and these teams and the expectation level.